I wanted to speak about the aspect of the essaic drama because I mentioned how you added these little asides in here that could appear in other essays. And you have an aside here about Chaplin, Keaton, and Lloyd.
Yeah.
If you want me to read you some of it, I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
But okay, so let me just get it here. Anyway, by the time videotapes became popular, I was able to buy many a release of these old classics and watch them several times over the years. Despite years of revisionism, the reality is that Charlie Chaplin was head and shoulders above all the other silent-era comedians. And for a simple reason, his films had genuine emotion, not mere sentimentality. You cared about the tramp, especially in the feature films, as well as other characters. There is great emotion and depth of feeling in films like The Kid, The Gold Rush, City Lights, and even the neglected The Circus. Buster Keaton, of whom it is now cynically fashionable to rank above Chaplin, had none of that in any of his films. And as innovative as his films were in terms of plot and trickery, there was no emotion. He never cared for any of the great Stoneface's characters, and that nickname is a clue to Keaton's limitations as a film artist. I recently rewatched The General, the 75-minute film of Keaton's that is often lauded above all of Chaplin's work, and ridiculously lauded as one of the all-time great films by hyperbolic and cynical critics. There's not a single moment of real depth in that film. One cares not a whit, nor identifies with a single character. It's not even a comedy, really, just an extended chase film. And its ending of Keaton's attempt to kiss his leading lady, well, it's just so nothing in comparison to the end of City Lights or the Dance of the Rose and the Gold Rush, and many other moments of genuine depth and emotional resonance in Chaplin's work. Nowhere is this better illustrated than the lone film Keaton and Chaplin appeared in together near the end of their careers, Chaplin's film Limelight. They have just one scene together, a comic one, but can anyone imagine Keaton ever plumbing the dramatic depths that Chaplin does as Calvero, the washed-up comedian? Of course not. Emotions are way too overvalued in today's culture, especially over intellect and evidence, in the case of science, the public's utter lack of understanding of such. But emotion used well lends depth to character development. And Chaplin knew this. Keaton did not. In fact, I would even rank Harold Lloyd higher than Keaton overall as a silent era comic. He had more dramatic and comedic range than Keaton, if not as much as Chaplin.
Yeah, and that it's interesting because when you said that, I was as you started reading, I said, "Oh yeah, I put that in that play because I had just rewatched The General and a few other Keaton shorts, and it's true. I mean, and so that's one of those things. Sometimes because people do think like this. Now, someone may not, your average person isn't going to go off like that, but an omniscient narrator, a character like a Danny Wagner, what?
Yeah, a certain person, but it works with Danny. There's scenes with Faith and Christy where they speak about Alfred Hitchcock as, say, a dessert rather than a main course like Orson Welles and Stanley Kubrick, but they can't go off into the detail that Danny can. Yeah. So you have similar points, little bits of the genetic spine are being put in other characters, but they're not nearly to the detail of Danny, so it's easily distinguished.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be a very realistic speech if, say, Barb all of a sudden went off to this, although it may be amusing.
Well, let me ask you a question, though, to wrap this play up before we go on to Janelle's Red Yaya. What you had mentioned the metafictive aspect of not liking this play as much as their visible dimensions. But what did you think about the ending where Baba ends up in the audience, basically, booing Danny Wagner, and basically, saying, "What's wrong with you people?"
Well, it's hilarious in that it's a hilarious setup, of course. But the thing that I got out of it is that, like we were comparing the Lisa Yorkman character to Barbara Herzog, her plight is very much her own. So she's sort of watching her own drama unfold, and she can't do anything. She has unleashed this upon herself. And the metafictive aspect also recalls the prologue where it's just a boy and the girl, and you presume that it's Danny and Barb, and you later find out that perhaps it is. And then she starts booing at the very beginning. So it's like a loop to the beginning,
Mm.
where she's in this sort of Sisyphean plight throughout the rest of her eternities.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and this is a play I personally probably like this play a bit more than The Invisible Dimensions, simply because I guess personally I resonated more with uh, uh, the Baba character, whereas Duke to me seems more likable. But anyway,